If writers go into it knowing that you're just partway up the mountain when you finish the draft, I think the rest of it becomes less overwhelming.
So I love the analogy of the sculpting. And I can imagine someone looking at a sculpture in a modern art museum, for example, and it looks like the first whack at the David, it's rough, it looks unformed, it maybe doesn't really even look like what the viewer expects. They read it and says man on a horse, and then they look at it and they think that's not possibly a man on a horse, but it's in an art museum. So somebody must realize that it's good. So I can imagine that there are authors who say, my work is like the man on the horse. It's raw and unformed. And the man on the horse got into a art museum. So my raw writing should be equally appreciated. Do you encounter that, or am I just making that up?
No, totally. Let's call this 50 Shades of Grey syndrome, where you see something like that was started as fan fiction and was pretty raw, probably was edited to be less raw when it was published, but I'm not going to make value judgments, but I'm just saying maybe a little more editing might have been useful to help strengthen that story. But it was a huge hit. So are there exceptions to every rule? Of course there are. Are there different stylistic preferences? Yes, indeed. This is a subjective industry, but it's also incredibly competitive, as you and every other writer listening know. And if you want to give yourself the best chance of success, you have to bring yourself in line with what is marketable and what is, at the end of the day, nobody likes to hear this as an artist, but we're a product. We're a commodity, and most of us are trying to take our product onto the market. And you don't do that by going, look, I slapped this together. Anybody want it?